Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife. It is good to be back in real time. It is currently Sunday, let me check the time, 4 p.m. We got home from Wasilla earlier today. We'll tell you about that. We were out there this weekend for some work stuff for me. We had a friend who, you know what, she vandalized our house. That's exactly what I'm gonna say. She vandalized our house. We'll tell you all about that a little bit later. Feeling really good. We got a Sunday nap in after we got home. It's been such a nice day. I'm feeling so good, so excited for our Sunday evening and bringing you guys along for all of it. All right, so we had a friend who we saw on Friday and who used our house for a little bit even after we left for Wasilla. And we came home and left some wonderful gifts for us. Totally unnecessary. A puzzle, some Peeps, some Biscoff cookies, some Cadbury mini eggs. In fact, look at this, like Biscoff cookies with like vanilla flavor. What? That looks amazing. And you might say, Adam, that doesn't feel like vandalism. That's correct. But that does. Look at all of those. And there's more. We're still finding them. Let me show you. Look, there's a hot sauce packet in our meat drawer. There is not supposed to be a hot sauce packet in our meat drawer. Let me tell you the story behind this. So this goes back almost 5 years because during like the COVID lockdowns, we were going live on Instagram a ton. And one of our dearest friends, I'm not going to say her name, many of you instantly knew who I was talking about the second you saw these, because during COVID, during the lockdowns, we were doing Instagram Live, she would randomly DoorDash food to our house, like Taco Bell at midnight. And we have seen them when we've gone up to like the North Pole Fairbanks area. We've seen them when they come down here. And there's just like this running joke back and forth about like Taco Bell. And one time when she DoorDashed us Taco Bell, it included like an entire bag full of sauce. And so it's just kind of become this joke. She borrowed our car one time. We were finding Taco Bell sauce packets in the visors all over the place. It's hilarious. So we walked in, we saw the gifts, we're like, oh, that's so sweet. And then we saw it. We saw the one sauce packet. And here's exactly where it was. It was like balanced above our stove. And as soon as we walked in and saw that, we were like, oh no. So this is how many this is how many we have already found hidden around our home since we got back. So, to our dear, dear friend, thank you, and payback will be heading your way. All right, Sherri Beth, how are you doing?
Okay.
You are reading a new book series.
Yeah.
What do we got?
Heartstopper.
You've seen the TV show.
I love the TV show.
Now you're onto the book. But it's not a book, it's a graphic novel.
It's a graphic novel, which I've never read before.
And so far, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I started about 10 minutes ago, and I'm 117 pages in, so it's...
Amazing. How many books are in the series, do you know?
5.
Okay.
I think.
You went to Wasilla with me.
Yes, I did.
How was it?
It was fun. I'm glad I went.
So Sherri stayed at the, you know what, let me just tell you why we were there. I realize that not all of you might know why we were up there. So Friday night and Saturday, like 9 to 3, taught a class with my team. There's a training that we do called Engage Training, and we held it in Wasilla. It was awesome. It actually sold out like 3 weeks ago, so we had a great group up there. So we did that. And then last night, Saturday night, one of our supporters is a local motorcycle club. We love these guys. They've just become like some of our favorite people. And they held a fundraiser for us in Wasilla at a dive bar. It was called Thunder in the Valley, an arm wrestling tournament, and it was amazing. We were there from, oh my gosh, like 6 until maybe 10 or so. It was so much fun, huge turnout. We raised like $3,500 at an arm wrestling tournament. But since it was in the Valley all weekend, we decided to rent an Airbnb for Friday night and Saturday night. So stayed out there. Whole team stayed together, which was great. There were 4 of us there at the Airbnb, including Sherri. And it was really nice. It was a nice getaway. And I'm glad we stayed out there because driving back to Anchorage Friday night after teaching, and then back out to Wasilla early morning Saturday, and then back late last night after a long day of teaching and arm wrestling and fun, just would have been a lot. So we stayed out there, which was very nice. But we were pretty tired when we got home, hence the reason we took naps. All right, Sherri, now that they know why we were in Wasilla,
Yeah.
What did you do while you were out there?
Finished Onyx Storm.
You finished Onyx Storm. We're not going to give away any spoilers.
We're not going to give away any spoilers.
It's the third book in kind of like the Fourth Wing series. I don't think that's what it's called, but...
The Empyrean.
Ooh, the Empyrean series.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to give any spoilers, but how is your heart?
Not well.
Shattered into a billion dragon-shaped pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you finished that. You also hung out at the house, got some other work done.
Yes, I did.
Was it a relaxing weekend for you?
It was.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Glad you went out there with us.
I am.
I'm too.
I like your team.
It is a good group of people.
Yes, and so last night you and Allison stayed at the arm wrestling tournament longer than Gwen and I did.
Yep.
And so Gwen and I went back to the house. We were both like noised out. And we just chatted, and it's been years since I've just been able to like hang out with Gwen, and she's just one of my favorite people. So it was really good to just hang out and chat.
Yeah, you two got good chatting time, which is very much your personality, while Allison and I handled an arm wrestling tournament with motorcyclists at a dive bar, which is honestly very much our personality.
Correct.
It worked out well for everybody.
Yes, it did.
Now, since we were gone this weekend, we do still have some weekend chores to do, so I've got some laundry pods in there. I'm going to get laundry started for us. Just kind of balance that out a little bit, move it around, and good to go. And just when you think you found them all, you see another freaking sauce packet. One more to add to the collection. We have probably a load and a half of laundry to do, so not a ton of stuff. Since it's only 5 o'clock, definitely stuff that we can still get done tonight and start the week with all fresh clothes, clean clothes, which is really nice. Now thinking about meals. And meals this week are going to be a little bit different than most weeks because we had a ton of leftovers from the training. So we had lunch catered on Saturday, which was yesterday, and there was a lot of stuff left over. We did like a taco bar, and there were brisket tacos and chicken tacos and just all sorts of different ingredients. All the brisket is gone, but there was a lot of chicken, tortillas, rice, beans, and cheese left. I felt so bad, like those things just getting thrown away. So we brought them home, so I need to figure out how to use them. And you guys, not a little amount of them. All of those pans are full of that stuff. So I have a lot of items to use. So here's what I'm thinking. I am thinking for dinner, maybe tomorrow night, that I could make like an enchilada casserole. And that would use a bunch of the chicken. It would use a bunch of the tortillas, a bunch of the cheese, and we can bake that delicious, delicious meal for dinner tomorrow night. I'm thinking that maybe for lunches this week, we could do like a Mexican rice, beans, and chicken bowl. So rice, refried beans, chicken, cheese, maybe some salsa on top of it. That would be a great thing to have as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, there's a couple things I need from the store. I don't have any enchilada sauce, so I need to go get that. But I just wanted to figure out a way to use the food that we had left over, and I think that's the way to do it. And if we have things like that this week for lunch, well, we have lots of hot sauce to use. All right, obviously I'm leaving the house, going to the grocery store. There's only a few things that I need because of all the food we already have in the house. It is a short grocery list this week, which makes me really happy. I will also say something else that makes me happy. Actually, very, very happy. It is 6 p.m. and it is still light outside. The days are getting so noticeably longer, and I'm really happy about it. So I am loving the longer days, and let's go get grocery shopping done and then get back home. All right, we are making progress. We got our Puffs Plus Lotion Kleenex. We got some enchilada sauce. Just a couple more things we need at the store. Success shopping is done. Now we're heading home. All right, I'm back home from the store. Sherri and I had dinner. We watched a show. Sherri Beth is switching to laundry, and we are going to do a little bit of meal prep for the week. I told you we had a lot of leftovers. Let me show you exactly what we have though. So you can see we got a big pan of rice, a ton of refried beans, a bit of chicken left, like so many tortillas, and cheese. So here's my thought. We're gonna make a like enchilada casserole. I got enchilada sauce and cream of mushroom soup. We're not gonna cook it tonight. We're just gonna make it and put it in the fridge for tomorrow dinner. That way after work we can just toss it in the oven and it's done. And then for lunches this week, we can do like some bowls. So like a Mexican rice bowl with rice, refried beans, chicken, cheese, salsa, sour cream, that kind of stuff. So I think we'll be able to use up a bunch of this, which is my goal. I will say the one thing, there are so many, like, look at all of these tortillas. It's crazy. So I'm actually thinking about freezing some of these. There's just so many, and they're obviously going to be good for a while if I freeze them. So I think I'll freeze a bunch of those. But let's assemble our enchilada. We've got our enchilada sauce and our cream of mushroom soup together. Sherri's given it a nice whisk. We've talked about this in lots of vlogs before where we make this recipe. I just think that mixing those two gives it the best creamy kind of flavor. So now we're going to cut our tortillas. Obviously with most enchiladas, like this would be rolled. However, this is gonna kind of be like an enchilada casserole. This is actually a recipe, or similar to a recipe I got from my grandma. And so, I'm just gonna do it like that. Just put a bunch of the tortillas in a bowl. These are the ingredients for our enchilada casserole. Got them right here. We got our pan. First thing we're gonna do, basically it's building a lasagna. So we're just gonna do a really thin kind of layer on the bottom just so stuff doesn't stick. And then we're just gonna do like a layer of sprinkled tortillas. And then we'll do some meat, which of course we have the chicken. And Sherri Beth's going to take some cheese. We're just gonna keep doing that over and over until the pan is full and we've used up our ingredients. Sherri's putting on the last layer of cheese, kind of the top layer. Here's what's awesome. We used up all of that chicken, gone. The sauce all gone. Used up a bunch of the tortillas. Whatever cheese is left, we'll just put in like a Ziploc bag and save that. So all we have left is, well, a bunch of rice and beans. I didn't expect us to use all that chicken. So kind of shoots my burrito bowl idea for lunches this week.
Just like beef or something, like we can cook up some.
We could make up some other meat. So we're going to not do anything with the rice or beans tonight. We'll probably put them in different containers though, because they're huge, they take up a lot of space. So we'll transfer these to different containers, and this will go in the fridge. We'll put aluminum foil over the top. That's gonna be dinner tomorrow night. And lots of leftovers. That'll be lunches this week too. Oh, looks so good. Got the tortillas that are left over. Still a ton of tortillas, so we're gonna keep those, put those in the freezer. Sherri Beth is loading up the dishwasher, then we're gonna get that started. Just like that, dinner tomorrow night is done, which will give us a number of lunches. We have lots of other food. I didn't want to see that food go to waste, so I'm glad we brought it home and put it to good use. Okay, Sherri, earlier in the vlog, we talked about the new book you were starting.
Yep.
Your first graphic novel ever. How is it going? How did it go?
Well, I've read the first two.
So, okay, this is what's crazy. You've read both of those books tonight.
Correct.
Let's see, like, they're not small.
No, they're
however,
almost 300 pages each.
But they're graphic novels.
But they're graphic novels, so there's like 4 words per page.
You're kind of flying through the pages.
Yes.
Okay, so first 2 graphic novels in one evening tells me you must like them.
Well, I like the story because I adore the show on Netflix.
Okay.
So I already know the story. I already know that I love Nick and Charlie. So this was fun, just kind of reading their story instead of watching the story. I don't know if graphic novels are my thing.
No, you're going to get through this series because you like the series.
Yes.
But you're not like, ooh, maybe graphic novels are in my future.
I don't love having to turn the page every 2 seconds.
Well, the fact that you've read both of those books tonight, and not just tonight, like in...
I mean, 20 minutes each.
That's insane.
So, yeah.
A lot of page turning.
A lot of page turning, but very cute. I do really love the story.
So, you said there's 5 books in the series?
Yes.
Do you own all 5?
Yes, so I'm going to start 3.
Okay. And while Sherri's starting the 3rd book, I'll give you an update on me. I I haven't seen you guys since I got back from my trip to Sitka, Alaska. I went to Sitka on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of this week. It went amazing. We were invited down there by the local school district to basically train every 6th through 12th grade student in Sitka on online exploitation, some of the things that we're seeing kind of in the space of trafficking, specifically with youth and the way the internet is being used, kind of an online safety, online exploitation sort of training. And you guys, it went so good. We got to speak in a number of different venues. I think we spoke to 5 different schools. And like I said, every 6th through 12th grade student. First town in Alaska that we know of that has had that kind of training for that wide range of a student. And here's the thing. I have a job because people don't take stuff like that seriously, and because that kind of stuff leads to trafficking, leads to exploitation. And so I was so thankful to get to speak to a bunch of youth. Went down there with Allison, who kind of co-leads the organization with me. She leads Priceless, which is our anti-trafficking initiative. I lead Love Alaska, which is kind of the umbrella over everything. We had a great time. I will say traveling with Allison is always fun, because one of the things that she does when we travel, not just when we travel, but like in life, is she does donut photography. Now, I understand that is a very confusing set of words, but it is so fun. And I think that when you do like really heavy, hard work, sometimes you have to have these quirky kind of hobbies. Now, here's the thing. I've convinced Allison, she's been talking about this for a while, but while we were in Sitka, she finally started an Instagram page for her donut photography. You guys, it's awesome. I love when we travel, like I get to hold the donuts and I get to just like walk behind her, and we get to like go on hikes, and like she puts donuts in trees and on weird spaces, and it's so much fun. It is like, I can't even explain it. Just, I'm gonna link down below to her new donut photography page. Go check it out. Sherri and I obviously follow it from all of our accounts. We love it. Go check that out. I think you guys will enjoy it. It's one of those Instagram pages. When it comes across your feed, you can't help but smile. And I think in the world today, we all need more accounts like that in our lives and in our feeds. So I'll link that down below. Go check it. So Sitka was donut photography, but mostly it was obviously the speaking we did down there, which was great. This coming week, I'm really looking forward to, or I guess like this week that we're kind of in now, because it has seemed like since the first of the year, we have been going. We have been to an event in Wasilla where we stayed overnight. We were in Fairbanks, we were in Juneau, we were in Sitka, we were just back in Wasilla. And now we have like a month-long gap with no travel, or about a month with no travel, before we head up to Fairbanks again in about a month. And I'm really looking forward to being home. So this week for me is actually going to be a little bit of rest, unplugging, just trying to take time at home and breathe, because this year's been crazy so far. I want to go to the float tank. I want to like just relax and do a float. I think I'm getting a tattoo later this week, which I'm so excited about. And it's a tattoo that I've wanted to get for a long time. I'll tell you more about that.
I'm not jealous at all.
Sherri's very jealous. It's funny. Sherri was like, oh, you're going to get a tattoo without me? And I was like, whoa, let's back the truth trolley up for a second. Because you, my darling, have gotten multiple tattoos without me.
Well, you have also.
I have also, and I'm going to this week as well. Haha. What is the tattoo scorecard?
I think we each have 10.
We each have 10. Not for long. I'm going to take the lead. Haha. Zing. The look I'm getting isn't kind.
Wait, let me count.
Sherri's counting. That's really funny. So this week is just going to be a bit of a restful week. Still working, still getting a bunch of work stuff done. But I just, yeah, after the craziness that this year has been with so many trips, I'm ready for a little bit of a break. So that's my hope as to what this week's going to be. Sherri, did you count?
I have 10.
Sherri has 10. I don't know how many I have. I think I have 10.
I think we each have 10.
11 for me after this week. So I'm on the website for Anchorage Fur Rendezvous is our winter carnival here in Anchorage. You can see this year is the 90th anniversary, which is amazing. It's always fun, and there's so many different events. There are dog races, There are outhouse races. Yes, you heard me right. There's snow sculptures, even though I don't know how they're doing that with no snow this year. I don't even know if they are doing that. Just so many different events. And it actually started this weekend, so we missed kind of the opening weekend of it. But there are some events coming up over the next week that I always love going to, like the Charlotte Jensen Native Arts Market, which is at the Diamond Center. In my opinion, the best native arts market in the entire year in Alaska. So, want to see when that is. So I'm just going to kind of check out the events, see what stuff's going on. You can see there's like an introduction to pickleball clinic, the Great Alaskan Talent Competition. It's interesting because, you know, Ferrandi's always been this, like my whole life, just this kind of break in the middle of February, which January and February are normally the worst winter months. But this year we've had such a mild winter. There's no snow outside. It feels like spring, that Ferrandi almost feels out of place. It's like we're having a winter festival when there's no winter. So this past weekend they did fireworks. They had the grand parade. So we missed all that kind of stuff. But there's still lots of other stuff coming up in the next week and a half or so. And we will definitely make sure to bring you guys along to whatever Ferrandi events we go and do. And another big thing that's been impacted by the weather isn't just Ferrandi, but at the end of Ferrandi, they have the start of the Iditarod. Obviously, our famous dog sled race here in Alaska, our most famous. We have many famous ones. And the Iditarod normally has a ceremonial start in Anchorage on Saturday. So they haul a bunch of snow into downtown Anchorage, and thousands of people line the streets. The dogs mush down 4th Avenue. You cheer them on. It's always like this ceremonial start, but the race always officially starts the next day at the restart. And that's normally held in the town of Willow, Alaska, an hour-ish north of here, just north of Wasilla, where I was this weekend. However, this year, there's not even enough snow in the Willow area to hold the restart. So they're actually moving it all the way to Fairbanks, Alaska. So the Iditarod restart is going to be in Fairbanks. So the race this year from Fairbanks across to Nome, not Anchorage or Willow to Nome. So big change to the Fairbanks, or a big change to the Iditarod, moving it to Fairbanks. And again, just our crazy winter continues. We were talking on the drive home. This feels like late April or May. Like it feels like we are 2 to 2.5 months early this year. Now, here's the thing. I've lived in Alaska since I was 3 years old. Alaska's always in control. So we could still have a crazy winter. Like we could get a lot of snow. It could still happen. But I did see that we're, I think, currently like the 7th warmest winter ever in Anchorage. And even this whole next week, temperatures are supposed to be in the mid to upper 30s. It's just supposed to continue to stay warm. So very odd winter here. In fact, right now in mid to late February, it for sure still feels, or it for sure feels more like spring than winter. Load of laundry is done. Got a dryer sheet right there. So I'm going to put that in the hamper here, take it upstairs. We do have one thing that got washed by itself over here. Had some like stains on it. And it was almost like it got washed with a new pair of blue jeans, because there was a bunch of white on this, or I mean a bunch of blue on this. It looks like it might be, well, I don't know. There's still a bunch of blue on there. This might just be, yeah, this one might not be fixable. So we talked a lot about the books that Sherri has read and is reading. We've not talked about what I'm currently reading. It is a book called The Smell of Other People's Houses. I actually got it from the Anchorage Public Library. I went in last week or the week before and renewed my library card and walked to the library, found this. It's a story set in Alaska, which you guys know that I love. And I am about halfway through it. I'm really loving it. And I want to try to use the library more. I loved my time there walking through it. And I was just like, why don't I come here more often? I am less of a mood reader than Sherri. Sherri is like, she's a mood reader. And so the library doesn't always work well for you.
Because I find books that I like and then get them and then I'm like, I don't feel like reading that right now. A lot
of books that you get, like if you buy a book, you might not read it for several months.
Right.
But you do eventually read it.
I do eventually read them. I just, when I get them, I'm not necessarily in the mood for them.
And so the library doesn't work so great for her. I think it's going to work good for me though, because the other thing I like about it is it gives me like a 3-week deadline to read the book. And so I feel like there's a little bit of pressure to finish it, which honestly is good for me. So, The Smell of Other People's Houses, what I'm reading, and I'm already excited to go back to the library. And it's official. Sherri's finished all 3 of those books tonight. That is crazy.
Only 2 left in the series.
But I do want to show you kind of what they're like. So it is, you know, again, graphic novel. So just a couple of like pieces of dialogue on each page. So you really do fly through it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But still, that's impressive. But friends, we're going to end the video. It was a good weekend. I'm glad you came with us to Wasilla.
I'm glad I went as well.
I am really looking forward to this week. It's nice to have a whole week at home.
You have a whole month before you travel again.
Which is crazy.
That makes me so happy.
Makes me so happy as well. As I was kind of planning out my week, I did get my tattoo scheduled for Tuesday, which is exciting. But I also realized I have to go get my float tank done tomorrow then. Because I can't do a float tank after my tattoo.
Oh, that's true.
So I'm going to have to make a schedule for my float tank tomorrow on Monday.
Yep.
So Monday float tank, Tuesday tattoo, Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday you're getting together with some girlfriends?
Yes, I am.
So it'll be fun. So I have Wednesday evening free for myself. Ooh, what am I going to do?
Tuesday, I'm also getting together with a friend.
That's true. While I go get my tattoo, Sherri's going to get together with a friend at Double Shovel the Cidery. That'll be fun. And then Wednesday, plans. Thursday, we actually might go get cheesecake.
Yes.
Allison texted Sherri and I earlier. Local restaurant in town, their cheesecake of the week is a Harry Potter inspired butterbeer cheesecake.
Yes, please.
What? Oh my gosh.
We might need to make that happen.
We might.
We're going to make that happen.
For sure it's going to happen. We are tentatively kicking around the idea of this next weekend going to the shelter, maybe looking at cats and kittens. If you listen to our most recent podcast from this last Saturday, we talk all about that. Talk about kind of where we're at in that process, how we're feeling, the emotions around that, some grief that hit Sherri last week about Missy still being gone. And so maybe next weekend, cat weekend. No guarantees. We're still looking.
Right, we might just go look, and if we don't find the right one, we're not going to bring it home. But
we'll bring you guys along for all of it. Exciting, fun week planned. And we'll pick the camera up and bring you guys along where we can. Friends, we love you. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you on the next LeggLife video, where I will probably have 11 tattoos, and Sherri will still only have 10. Haha, she smacked my butt. Bye, friends.